In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
Welcome to Rap in Order, the interrogation of a hip-hop album, where we take some of the culture's most beloved hip-hop albums, put them on the stand, see if they stood the test of time. Now let's see who we got on the stand today. Welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Class Regg.
And I am Taurian B.
Yankeed out today.
Yeah, man. Playoffs is on the horizon and everything like that. I'm pretty excited. It was funny in a convo group chat. The Tigers, I don't think they made the playoffs, but like Marino hit you up.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, he a Yankee fan. He with us.
I root for everything Detroit. So, it's been to my detriment over the years, with the Pistons, but the Lions though.
The Lions are absolutely playing very well.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people that know our friend Felix knows that he's an avid Detroit Lions fan.
Yeah, which I always found interesting, that he was always a diehard Lions fan for as long as I've known him.
Yep.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
But
he's he lives and dies with that team.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And Felix, and when you meet, and Felix is so Bronx, he's so Bronx, but the Lions he's always been about the Lions. Yeah.
All day. So what did you? This is just going to be like an ongoing thing because things are just going to keep going, right? So I know in the last episode we talked about the Eric Adams indictment. We talked about the Diddy case, but pretty much 50 Cent is trying to make a whole entire universe of making all these documentaries and film, and I just think it's the most diabolical shit ever.
I think what 50 is doing, it's half of it is out of spite, and the other half is he knows it's just going to make interesting content, right? So I think he's also at this state in his life where he's not really the music doesn't really move him. He's not
Obviously,
doing music. Yeah, he did his tour, which was I think it was not Victory Lap. It was called something lap tour, which is basically his way of an out for music.
I don't know why I feel like it was the last lap.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, something like that. But the tour was super successful because we all love 50's older shit.
Right.
And then now he's kind of got his feet wet with his power universe at Stars, and the door is open. He wants to do other shit, and this is the perfect opportunity for one of his number one ops to cover everything that they're going through.
What the fuck did Eric Adams do to 50 though?
Oh wait, Eric Adams? No, he's doing something on Eric Adams?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's doing one on Eric. He announced that he's going to do one on Eric Adams as well as Puff.
You know what's so crazy about this too is that 50 doesn't have the cleanest rap sheet with being somebody that people,
according to Jaguar Wright, he don't.
Yeah. What would she say about it?
Jaguar Wright said that 50, usually people don't want to get rid of the person in power. They just want their power.
So she's saying that
he just wants to replace Jay-Z and Diddy and basically just do, horrible things to people in just a different way.
I don't know. I wouldn't really see 50 as being that type of person, but I can't speak on these people's characters.
I can't speak on people's characters, but I think that she was just saying that it'll just be a different kind of evil. Maybe he might not be having freak offs and mistreating women or something like that, but I don't know. I guess maybe murders or maybe he'll bring back gang activity or some shit like that.
I don't know, but
Jaguar Wright, I just think it's funny. I'm why do so many people I guess you have to ask yourself, why the fuck are so many people doing so much shit in front of Jaguar Wright?
Do you think?
No, I don't believe it.
Yeah,
I just think it's funny. I just think it's funny. I just think it's hilarious to talk about this shit.
But all they do, she record. It just kills me because the worst thing that happened in the past few years was Jordan Peele flipping that Luna's sample, that I Got Five on It sample, into the eerie shit that he does into that creepy
for us.
Yeah. Because now they put that over in theory and it makes it believable to people. They just like, oh my God, like, did you hear the music? Like that shit. And she talks in this way, even her Aaliyah theories. And
she has the Aaliyah theory. She also told us that Common, who used to be her boyfriend, raped her. Common's dating history, I want to dive into that one day too.
Yeah.
But yeah, like she just talks about everybody. Like when she was like, yeah, Diddy's bad, but Jay-Z's worse.
Yeah. And then the music will creep in. And then to show you pictures of Jay-Z just smiling. And
yeah, man.
Yeah, bro. It's all in the editing.
Yo, man. Tinfoil Cap Twitter has been having the fucking time.
I just saw a tweet before we started this. Somebody said Beyonce killed Aaliyah. Which is right before we started recording. Yeah, she retweeted herself from like 2016 and was like, see? And I'm like, see what? Like, that's proven? What are we talking about?
Well, no, that's no worse than like the other day in the group chat. What the fuck did you share? And then called me a head ass? Fuck you.
Yeah.
It was Choke because Choke No Joke said that, in the Big Papa video that Biggie was, the girl that he was macking to was a transvestite. And this woman has actually come out and said, I'm a woman, look at me, I'm a woman. Her family has come out and said it. And people are still saying like, so basically people are saying like, well, you look mannish.
I didn't see none of that. I've never seen any of that stuff. It popped up on my Twitter and I said, oh shit, wow. And then there was the part in the video where the woman was in the men's bathroom.
Yeah, and people were saying that like Diddy and Hype Williams was on some like fruity shit as well. Mm-hmm. And if they were, that's completely fine. But I'm just saying like they were saying it not as a compliment to them. But like, yo, this woman is still alive. Like she's not a man.
He said that she was dead.
No.
Yeah, that's what he said. I'm just saying, that's what I'm saying. See, so the misinformation era of the internet is very dangerous.
Oh yeah, very dangerous.
Because everything is told as fact.
The one thing that sucks is that like I do give Choke No Joke some credit for certain things that like he speaks on because it's accurate, but then sometimes he goes off the fucking rails like with this story, and it's just like Choke, like you on the wrong side of history, bro.
Take everything with a grain of salt, man.
Like I think Choke No Joke would be like he would be an excellent like documenter of hip hop. Mm-hmm. Because like he was trying to do that, but I just think that because like, like there's a story, like he wasn't embraced by Jay. Like Dame brought him in and him and Dame fell out. But I actually think if things were like handled correctly, like I think that his documentation of hip hop from the time that when he entered, I think like in like 99 or some shit like that, 2000, I think it will be great for him.
I see.
Yeah. I think he would do a really good job. He's a very good storyteller. I just think that, he's very smart, but he also has a hood side to him and like things the lines just get blurred.
Yeah. I could see that. I think, what else is going on? What you been watching?
So let's see where I start. I've been watching, Fight Night, the Kevin Hart, TV series.
On Peacock, yeah.
Yeah, on Peacock, with Samuel L. Jackson, Taraji P. Henson is in it. What's this guy's name? I can't think of his name, but like he played 50 Cent's son in Power. He's in the new White Man Can't Jump that nobody's seen.
Yeah, I saw it, unfortunately.
Oh, you did watch it?
Yeah, I did watch it.
I thought that you wouldn't do that.
Nah, yeah, I watched it.
Wow, I didn't think
Kenya Barris.
Wow, man. Yeah, man.
Because I like to know about things before I shit on them.
Okay, I love shitting on stuff I've never seen.
Yeah.
But Fight Night, the $1 Million Heist. I just want to like go through it because like I actually like thought he was pretty cool. Don Cheadle is in it. Mm-hmm. Who else is in this thing? Let's see. Let's get to it. IMDb. Where's the rest of the cast? Stars. There we go.
Terrence
Howard is in it. Seneca Walls is in it. So that's his name, Seneca Walls. Michael James Shaw is in it. Miles Bullock is in it. Like David Banner is in it. And he actually does a really good job. David Banner is in it. Because I think this is the 60s, so like he's a pimp.
Okay.
But it's a very good television series.
Is it all up or is it weekly?
It's weekly.
Okay.
I wish it was all up because I just want to get through this shit. But I'm still holding strong. Every Thursday night I'm watching it. So last night was the newest episode. So that's what I'm watching. I think I mentioned in the last episode I'm watching the Menendez brothers TV series. Mm-hmm. I just started the Vince McMahon TV series.
I did too.
Unfortunately for me, because I'm a huge wrestling fan, there's a lot of stuff in there I'm pretty sure that I already know about. But it's still just cool to like see like the, you know, the conversations. Because Vince McMahon hasn't sat there. I've seen other people talk about Vince McMahon and tell these stories, but I've never heard like Vince McMahon give his version of how things are.
And it also puts you, aligns you with the fact that we don't really know him.
We don't know shit about
Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
And all this time, it hasn't been about wrestling, it's been about business.
Yeah.
So like
that was interesting, right?
Yeah. It's like, yo, it's just business. Like even him doing the talk show back then, for them, they was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And then he kind of just kept doing it. Like he was like, yeah, no, this aligns with this. And having the foresight to be like, all right, well, this is how I'm going to give wrestling the legs that it needs. But let's start bringing these special guest stars into it and putting them in the storylines. And like, that is really what jumped it off.
Right. Because what people don't know is that like wrestling, like back in the days, it's kind of like very like hush hush, quiet, like don't let people in on the secret, you know, like that the matches are usually like planned out, like, you know, like these guys are professionals, they're not really trying to like hurt each other, kill each other. Obviously real injuries happen. But Vince McMahon was kind of pulling the curtain back just a little bit on the business, as they call it. And certain things that he was doing, like he that's why he wanted to call it sports entertainment. He didn't want to call it wrestling because that's not what he was doing. And I think that like Vince McMahon is probably like one of like the greatest business minds like ever. I also think that it's funny that like he really stayed in his bubble of wrestling, because I think that he probably could have like ran like a network.
Yeah.
Of entertainment.
I think that's like probably what he wanted to do.
I don't know. Cause he could have did it. He could have stepped down years ago and let one of his kids run this shit. Like he literally had the only reason he stepped down is because of this fucking scandal that's out about him now.
Yeah, but that's the thing too though, right? Because I think he got so addicted to like the control aspect of it. So him stepping down, cause he easily could have, stepped down and maybe had Shane run it or Stephanie, but he wanted to be in control that whole time.
Right. From what I'm hearing, like, it gets like each episode, because you know obviously that shit is 9 episodes. It's a task, guys. I haven't gotten through all of it yet.
Yeah. I only got through 1 episode, but the first episode is super informative with his family, everything. The how WWE and WWF at that point came to fruition.
Also, what made me laugh is like Sarah was like, "Is Hulk Hogan gonna be all over this?" I was like, "Babe, I'm sorry. Hulk Hogan is George Washington of wrestling. Like you can't mention like, let alone WWF, WWE. You can't mention wrestling without Hulk Hogan because what he did. So it's like, I understand, like, you know, we aren't very fond of a lot of his like latest comments and things like that, but the Hulkster's the Hulkster, man. Without him, we might not have wrestling the way that it is now. Man. He definitely broke down barriers and doors.
He did. I'll give him that. It's still fuck Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, of course it is, but it's just like, hey, man.
Sheik.
Yeah, word to Iron Sheik. But you know, hey, man, he did what he had to do early on.
Yeah,
and he just got exposed. He just got overexposed. But yeah, like that's that. And then I'm excited for the sequel to Gladiator. I'm not watching any more trailers though.
Yeah, I saw somebody Denzel was asked about his accent in the movie. Did you see that?
I did not.
And he was like, like he kind of, you know, Denzel's cool. So he's just like what am I supposed to do? Like, you know, everything that we're kind of reading about is kind of like the lore of it or whatever. So like we give our own interpretations at that point.
Right.
And he kind of just, you know, and it made sense because that's really what it is, right. You know? But I'm excited to see it. I have to rewatch the first one. It's been ages.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in a long time.
Yeah.
Sarah told me, which was I was a little frustrated by this, that like the new lead in the Gladiator movie, it's the son of Maximus. That pissed me off.
I didn't know that.
That pissed me off. You mean to tell me Maximus did all that shit for his son to still become a fucking slave?
Yeah, I didn't know that. So yeah, they're probably gonna have to explain that. Meg did the song for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certain things I don't get. And I understand why people ask him about Denzel's accent, because he wouldn't have an English accent. he would have more than likely would have probably had some kind of African accent.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it's a movie, guys. I get that we want to be technical and everything like that. Like, shit, I mean, Russell Crowe's from Australia. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, his accent wasn't Roman at all. But, yeah, that's it. I just wanted to just have some, that fucked me up.
He said, so this is what Denzel said. He said, well, the thing was, where are we? Whose accent would it be? What does that sound like anyway? He asked rhetorically. You're going to end up imitating someone and end up with a bad African accent. That's what his justification was.
Yes. Long story short, Denzel's African accent is terrible.
Yeah.
He probably try. I would love to see that screen test. He probably, like, it's funny because, like, sometimes when I try to, like, use certain accents, I don't know why, but every time I sound like a leprechaun.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably tried and was like, well, no, fuck it.
Yeah.
They're coming to see
me. Some people can't. Yeah, they're coming to see. Yeah, that's the truth.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, so I think when you get to a certain level, it's just like you can kind of just afford to just dial it in.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, it is what it is, man. Mm-hmm. We live in America.
Yeah, man. There it is. But was there something else you want to get into?
No, that's
all right. We're gonna get into this album. So the album that we're doing today, I did recently come to terms with the fact that this guy is probably the most mysterious figure that we've seen in hip hop.
Okay.
Even more mysterious than MF Doom.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me more now. Okay.
We don't even know his real name. We don't know his real name. We've never seen his face.
Right. He always has.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't know what he does. There was a period in time where he came out. Well, he's been making music since like 2004, consistently. So this album that we're doing today is his 22nd studio album.
Jesus Christ.
But Mach-Hommy is who we're getting into. And we're getting the album that we're getting into specifically is Pray for Haiti, which I think for a lot of fans is his arrival point. It was released in 2021. It's his 22nd studio album, like I said before, released by Haitian American rapper Mach-Hommy. It was released through 𝘗𝘳𝘢 Records, with production handled by Camouflage Monk, Conductor Williams, and plenty more on here too. Features guest appearances from Westside Gunn, Keisha Plum, Melanie Charles, and one of his longtime friends, the God Fahim. 20% of the album's proceeds were donated to the Pray for Haiti Trust Fund, which is set up to fund educational infrastructure in Haiti. The album was recorded in the span of 7 days. And I want to say Hawaii, Miami, and there's another location that I can't remember right now. But yeah, in 3 locations, 7 days. I think what makes him so mysterious, and I think over the years, so this is my original point. So 2004 was when he first started recording and doing this thing, and he was releasing consistently, right? And then up until like 2010 to like 2017 or 18, he disappeared. Nobody knew where he was. He's originally from Newark, New Jersey. He disappeared. Nobody knew where he was. And then he kind of just popped back up and started making music again. He had a falling out with Westside Gunn early on. And because Westside Gunn had a dispute, I think, with the God Fahim, which is one of Mach-Hommy's close friends and collaborators. And publicly, it looked like, he just took the God Fahim side because he started working with him, distanced himself from Westside. But this album was a big deal because this was them not only reuniting, but also him signing a deal and kind of aligning more with 𝘗𝘳𝘢. So like, there's like a lot to unpack with him. I think off mic, you mentioned, like you didn't know much about him, but you knew that he took a picture with Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
I knew that.
Yeah. So that was around the time that, he took the picture with Hov, but then there's this allure where like Hov, he was actually supposed to be on the Jay Electronica album.
Okay.
He's supposed to be on a Jay Electronica album, but for whatever reason, his verse that he didn't make it. But it was an amazing verse, and the story and the lore around the verse was that Hov like threw his hat on the floor, heard the verse, called Beyonce, had her listen to the verse. So there's this lore around him, right? He has all this fanfare within the industry.
All I saw is that they said that like Jay-Z like buys his vinyls because like his vinyls are like very hard to come by.
$1,000. He sets his music to $1,000 because his whole business plan, which you can liken to like somebody like Nipsey,
right?
Of it being like, I'm going to charge this because I don't really need all the fame and all the money that comes from the world. But if I could charge my album $1,000 and I get 10 people to buy it, you know, that's $10,000 and I'll be good. I can get 10 people to buy this for $1,000 instead of just throwing it up on Apple Music where I would need 10,000 people to stream it just to try to make profit.
Okay.
You know, so it kind of balances out and it's a smart business move. But okay, so you weren't familiar with Mach-Hommy prior to this, but what was your take on this album listening to it?
It's good. I like you wanna know what I liked? That like his sometimes production kind of like you get lost in the production versus listening to the lyrics.
Yeah.
I like the fact that the vocals are over the production.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can really hear what he has to say, even when he's speaking in patois. Like you can hear like what he's saying and get through a song.
Mm-hmm.
I like understand the point that he's trying to make. So I really enjoyed that part. I was like, okay, he pronounces and says his words really well.
Yeah, he does.
So like that, like I was like, damn, I bet you his mom was a fucking teacher.
Right? I love the way that he raps for Haiti. And that's like a consistent thing. And part of even his signature look is the Haiti flag draped over his face. So you don't really even know what the fuck he looks like.
Right.
You know? And that's part of the reason why I say he's even more mysterious than Doom. Like we know a bit about Doom.
Because he had a career. Because he had a career before he became about Doom.
Mm-hmm. And I don't really know much about Mach-Hommy other than he has a farm. So like he had put up a video back in like 2020, and he was like, "Y'all niggas social distancing. Y'all just sitting in the house. I'm taking care of my farm." And like it was him with like some cows and all of this shit. And that's like the most people knew from him.
Wow.
And other than that, he just releases music at an alarming rate of how consistent it's been over the years. But this is considered like his magnum opus. So let's dig into the album. So the album kicks off the 27th. Yeah.
Before you get started, let me tell y'all something. When Regg first sent me this project, I was just like, all right, this is like, I get it. Westside Gunn, Basquiat Painting, Griselda, all that shit. I was cursing Regg out to high heavens before I even pressed play. Cause I was like, yo, what the fuck is this? I was like, I want to do an EPMD album. I want to fucking do Paul's Boutique by the Beastie Boys. Like, there's albums that I want to do, right? And then I was complaining to my mom about it. And my mom said that she actually thinks that is really cool that me and Regg are like the same person, but we have different perspectives.
Yeah.
I like it. Me and Regg are both nostalgia guys and love things from the past, right? Mm-hmm. But I love old school hip hop. Regg likes to find new music and like enjoy that, right? So it's like, cause we both have a deep love for hip hop. Mm-hmm. And it just shows like with me, like I'm slowly becoming that person that does not know new music. Where I like go back and listen to older music and stuff like that. Where it's like you kind of like want to find like what's new.
Yeah.
And my mother was like, I think that's so beautiful that you both are just on different sides of the spectrum. I was like, Mom, I don't want to do this album.
Shout out to
and then she was just like, you ain't gonna listen to it, Chet. You acting like Regg got bad music taste. And I was like, he don't. But I'm just saying, we still ain't do it because I was trying to get on my side. I'm like, we ain't do an EMPMD album yet. We ain't do a Beastie Boys album yet. Like, I'm like, we supposed to be reviewing old albums, seeing the classics.
Yeah.
And then she was just like, well, how long ago did this project come out? And I was like 3-4 years ago. She was like, well, it's an old album now. Yeah. And I was like, all right. Like, I was just pissed. So I just wanted to get that off. Shout out to Ma.
I think so into this one, man, what was I about to say? Oh, the 26 letter is what it kicks off with.
Yes.
Solid opener. I think he really talks his shit on this. The beat is amazing. It's produced by Denny LaFleur. He has his line on here. This gonna be the year I get my Python trench coat. Like, that I just love. It's so fucking extravagant. I think what's so cool about Mach-Hommy is that, and you know, you can listen to him and get some of his influences. Like you can hear the most Dev 𝘗𝘳𝘢 𝘏𝘢 type influence with his approach and his delivery. Right. And you can kind of say the same thing when it comes to like somebody like Westside Gunn. Like, you obviously listen to Ghostface and there's something in there for you. And you can say the same about Action Bronson with Ghostface. But I think what separates them from the people that they sound like is the content itself. Right. Because the 26 Letter, it kind of is something that 𝘗𝘳𝘢𝘏𝘢 would make, but probably with Madlib. But what Mach-Hommy did with this, and the way that he kicked this off to even lead into the rest of this album was very special and unique to him.
I really like this track. It had like it was a moody vibe to it. What I mean by that, like, like it like the way it started off, I'm just like, oh, okay, like this feels very black. Like because I was listening to this like with new ears, like I kind of like was just like kind of like taken into it, and like I kind of like gave the review of like what is making me feel. So this was kind of like new territory for me. Like, well, I didn't know anything about this artist. Like, I think I just went into it blind. Like, usually I like know something about the artist. Like, I've seen an interview. I couldn't find an interview with this guy. So like I was like, all right, well,
he has some interviews, but they're very few and far in between. One other thing that probably made it difficult for you to look for something. So what he consistently does, even when it comes to like Genius, when you go on genius.com and you try to look up lyrics from him, he flags any website, any blog that puts
like, don't say what I said.
Yeah, that posts his music. So he actually distributes a takedown to all these websites that put up his music. So it's like a frustrating thing in like the community and whatnot. So yeah, no, Mach-Hommy's lyrics are not added, and they will not be added due to a DMCA takedown request. So he actually issues a takedown request. Wow. So you see people in the thing, you need to read this guy's lyric. What a cornball, not letting us see the lyrics. Need lyrics. Like, there's just a bunch of people complaining. And yeah, there's like a thing of like somebody reviewing the album, but also talking about why his lyrics are not posted.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So he's very mysterious, and he kind of just wants people to kind of just take what they can or their own interpretations, leave it to your fucking self, basically.
I feel I would be pretty arrogant too. This nigga made Hov throw his hat on the floor.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. And I'm gonna pull up one of his interviews later. Like he's a very interesting dude, and he seems very colorful and very like he expresses himself really well in his interviews. He's super engaging.
Okay.
Second track on the album, No Blood, No Sweat. Really, really fuck with it. The production is so lush. It's produced by Camouflage Monk. It's another thing on this album too. Like, all these songs are 2 to 3 minutes long. Shortest one is like 34 seconds, which is the skit.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, it's great. Like, it's 16 songs, but it's like 30 something minutes long. Like, it's
just straight to the point.
Yeah. But this one, I think one of the standouts, he said, oh word, your rap's braggadocious, put this 38 in your mouth, go ahead, spit your magnum opus. Like, it's, he really kicks his shit. Like,
he's like, that's what I was saying. I was like, oh, this dude is like boring. Like, and it's kind of, it is reminiscent of me of like Styles.
Yeah. I see that too.
That's what I kind of like got. Like, obviously not identical, but as far as like the way he sets up his punchlines and the way how like he raps, I'm like, oh, this is a throwback. This is late 90s, like late 90s, early 2000s rap. Go to Hot 97 and freestyle like rap. Like, I was like, okay, I really enjoy this.
He's super intentional with his flow, his lyrics, everything is very, very intentional. Foley Ado features Westside Gunn and Keisha Plum. And this is his, well, you can kind of count this as his first reuniting with Westside.
Yeah.
After the fallout.
Conductor.
Yeah.
With bananas.
Conductor went stupid. This Conductor is just so good, man. With this type of level of rap, and I think at this level of his career too, he kind of brings everybody into that world that he works with. Even him working with Drake. You saw what he did with Drake, which is he got the rap Drake. That
man. I think that's dope when a producer actually produces.
Yeah, man.
I don't like send-ins.
Yeah. I think, and you can tell when an artist sits with the producer.
Yeah.
It makes a world of difference. And Keisha Plum on this hook, like everybody just adds to this song so well. And that takes us into Mach 𝘗𝘢𝘁 which has the Michael Jackson sample in the beginning of him from Thriller, where, and at the end too, where he was like, I swear the battery died or whatever. The flow is amazing. Conductor cooked on here. I think the song just should have been longer. That's my only complaint with it.
So track 4 is like the beginning of like the run.
Yeah.
Like the run of the album for me. I heard it and I was just like, is this like a play on like the hood Michael Jackson? Like I was like, I fuck with this. Like,
yeah.
Like, okay.
I think there's a lot of things, and I sat with this album for a bit, but like I think there's a lot of things on this album that, and with a lot of his music, that people are gonna be discovering more and more and more as they sit with this album, from like the intention behind it, from the little meanings, from like, there's just a lot to uncover and a lot to unpack, I think.
Yes.
So the stellar rate theory is one of my favorites on here because it actually really highlights the Mos Def or Yasin Bey comparisons. He opens the track with singing, and really harmonizing. And I think he's really tapped into that a lot more. Like when you listen to him, the more you listen to him, the more you'll like hear it. Mm-hmm. But early on, he wasn't doing it as much. And I like his interpolation of Takeover on this one.
Yeah.
Cause he has a part in this one where he goes, when they shit flops, they be hitting gun line because they know if sun don't shine, then sun don't shine. Mm-hmm. And all this rain will make it harder for them. It's only so long fake dust can pretend. Like he does that a bunch of times on this album where he has different interpolations of different lyrics. Yeah. And it all is solid and form fitting.
So because of that, like it's funny sometimes when you hear an interpolation, you just be like, "Where the fuck do I know that from?" So this song got the most replay for me on the whole project, and I think this song is my favorite song on the album actually.
Okay, yeah, I can see why, because it's really good. Somebody said that there's a slight jab at Jay Electronica, maybe even hold nothing serious.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
that's fans going down a wormhole they don't need to go down.
Love me some fan theories. That takes us into Marie, or how some people have interpreted as not reading as Marie, but as Mary.
Okay,
I think this carries the essence of Wu-Tang a lot, of a Wu-Tang classic. It sounds like it will have RZA on it, or Method Man, or Raekwon even.
Yeah, I thought it had like a real jazzy feel to it. Like I thought it gave, because of the jazzy feel, it kind of gave me Q-Tip.
Okay, I can see that too. I can see that.
So like that's where like I took from that, but like obviously another good solid track. Like this and also mind you, this continues the run that I say started at track 4. So this continues the run.
Yeah.
And so Marie was like very introspective, very intimate. Like I really enjoyed that part.
Yeah. And even tracks 7, well, 7 is a skit. Yeah. And then going into Criminal, which he spelled very uniquely. And then it's produced by Nicholas Craven, another really big standout for me. And Penrail, which is,
that blew my mind.
Yeah.
Because like, I didn't realize, like, cause like I said, I just listened to it. So I didn't look like at, like, research, and I was like, yo, he's speaking possible. Yeah. Going back and forth, like, they rapping, let's speak possible. I don't know. I know that's, like, to some people, they're just like, what's the big deal? But to me, I was like, mind blow, cause, hearing somebody rap in another dialect sometimes sounds.
The way he normalized that, man, it was fire. Yeah. And going into Murder Season features features West Side Gun. It's produced by Camouflage Monk. The union couldn't make any more sense. Like, and they just sound so good together.
Do they have a joint project?
No, I don't think they have a joint project together. But so even going back. So back when Mach-Hommy was rapping, he had stopped for a bit, but then he had camera equipment. And then somehow he got in touch and linked with Griselda and was doing camera work for them. He's doing camera work. So this guy's history is all over the place. It's so interesting. But he was doing camera work for them.
Buffalo to do that shit,
right? He was doing camera work and handling a lot of video content. But then once they discovered that he could rap, is when they started working with him. So this was like early 2010s. They started working with him and doing rapping and stuff. And then when they fell out. And then they reunited because it just made sense. They've kind of dumbed down the reason why they fell out. It probably
was really stupid.
Yeah, it must have been stupid. But probably
that's
just not worth them talking about anymore.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
When you really, really fuck with somebody, or obviously I've definitely experienced it. And you fall out with somebody, like you fall out with that person and then y'all speak again and you just be like, yeah, that was
like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Like this long.
It just be such a lapse in time, and it gets to a point where you're like, yo, why the fuck what happened?
Yeah, what happened? Yeah.
Why does it even matter anymore? Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that was Murder Season, which goes into Magnum Band. Which I think was strategically placed because, you know, his relationship with the Godfather, him kind of he maintained it. He maintained it when he fell out with Westside Gunn. And so seeing the back-to-back of this, for me, was kind of reminiscent of the back-to-back in Late Registration, like listening to We Major and then listening to Diamonds right after. Mm-hmm. That was fly.
That was intentional.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point out. Okay.
Yeah. And then Rami, it's another this one is a back and forth with Westside.
Yeah, it's a two-gun flow. Yeah. And like that's why I'm just like, why don't they just have like a project together? Mm-hmm. I really want to get like, you know, because we've done quite a few Griselda affiliated artists right now. Like I want to know like, are they okay with like just being like niche, or like is there like a grand plan to like what's going on or whatever like that? Like I get it, like they're probably like these guys are rich, so like they're not worried about like, you know, that. But I just wonder like, okay, like how can we present these artists to be more mainstream? Like that's just, I don't know, it's just things I always just think about, because some people, like, I don't think Mach-Hommy wants to be famous. Like I'm almost sure of it. But like sometimes I just wonder like Westside Gunn, man, like he's a visionary.
I think we're kind of seeing, at least from Benny, that he wants more. Right? Because he just said he got a deal. But he's just in like we talked about this on one of our previous episodes, where it's just like we don't know what's going on with him, in the sense of like, I don't know what's next, but I know that he's working on something and he's trying, because he just put out a big budget album. That album wasn't cheap.
No, it was not. So yeah, we'll see. But like, I'm just very curious about it, because it's I know times have changed, but I'm like, yo, like when is the crossover really gonna happen?
Right. So we'll see. Any time will tell for sure.
You wanna know what it's gonna like? You wanna know what I want to hear? I want to hear Westside Gunn ad-libs on a SZA song.
On a SZA song?
Yeah.
I don't know if I care to hear that. Because I think, so I've heard Westside Gunn on an R&B record before, and it was cool, but I think he just made it was too nasty. He was bringing shit to it that he just shouldn't have. Oh. It was just too much. It was too much. Okay. I don't know if he'll do that for SZA, but
for one, it would have to be on a Conductor or Alchemist beat that she's singing on.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying that, like, I think that artists like those guys, like, they need to, for them to cross over, they need to be featured on a R&B song.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just like how, like, you know, like ODB, like Mariah Carey used to do a lot of rap.
Right. I get what you mean.
Yeah. Did you see that conversation?
Which conversation?
There was a conversation where somebody basically was saying that, like, thanks to Mariah Carey, like, that's why so many rappers are featured on pop songs and hip hop. I mean, and R&B songs.
I mean, I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah, like
she's always in her comfort zone with that.
I didn't think about it until I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Like, and somebody was like, yeah, think about it. Obviously, there were remixes and stuff like that, but like Mariah was absolutely like pristine, like stay away from her, and like she always like would do songs.
And what I love about the Mariah collabs with rappers is that she remains herself.
Yeah.
Or at least what we know of her.
Right.
Right. So like she maintains being Mariah on these songs. She don't try to like
ghetto it up.
Yeah, she don't try to ghetto it up. She's just, she'll ghetto it up in like a small percentage. Like she'll wear, like in the video with Karen, she'll wear hoop earrings, or she'll wear Manolo Blahniks with like something spray painted on it. But even with spray painted on it, it's like a fucking butterfly or something. Yeah. It's still her.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Versus somebody like J-Lo. And like she's out here like standing the B-boy stance.
Yeah.
It's just like, yo, you never dress like this.
Mariah will pay homage to what's going on in a moment, but it'll be in a very Mariah way. It's very cool.
Shout out to Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
To Mimi.
Creole, the skit, I think, is very important to this album. It's the root of that. It's part of the root of the album. And I think part of his reason and his plan of aligning everyone with the idea of Haiti, praying for Haiti, and how important it is in the full landscape of things, for where he's from, being born in the States, but being so in touch with his roots. I think it's important, for the conversation.
Okay.
I think it is a good skit to have on this album. And, listeners will take that away from it. I think even going into the next track, Au revoir, which feels like a fond farewell.
That's what it means. It means goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's very smooth, like very like laid back. I'm like, ooh, okay.
Yeah. It feels exactly like a fond farewell. And then that takes us into Blockchain, which feels like an after credit scene.
Yeah.
That shit is hard.
Just talking that wealth shit, just talking that talk.
Yeah. And then, that takes us into the closer, which is 10 Boxes, Sin Eater.
Yeah. I wrote, the wordplay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's so good at that, man. And I think he's not of that caliber. And I'll be very surprised, to learn that he doesn't write, cause that's like the thing, right? These rappers don't be writing and stuff. They go and think of what they're going to say and just say it.
Right.
Or just rap it. But I think he actually puts pen to paper. I could be wrong, but the way that his flow is, the way that his bars are like thought out, and what he says and comes up with, it just feels so clever, like, and it just flows so well. And I think that's so intentional. Everything about him and what he puts out is super intentional.
I hope that rappers start writing again, because like the lure of like find like a rapper's like rhyme book, and like treating out like a grill, or like seeing like the way that they come up with something, even seeing like their handwriting, or like how it's like real like hieroglyphs.
Yeah, think about the negative impact that they're having on museums and stuff for like when they pass. None of this stuff is gonna exist because y'all thought of everything.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Even Jay-Z. Yeah, I was gonna say even Jay-Z. His early stories was writing things on a paper bag, or not brown paper bag back then. And then trying to remember when he got home what he thought of, or put in what he started rapping in a notebook.
Yeah, he used to write. Like people talk about that. Like I think that people don't understand. Like he learned that exercise out of necessity.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of just became a thing. And like, obviously he's all about like looking and being cool or whatever like that. I think that Jay-Z still writes. I just think that he remembers what he writes. So sometimes it's just easier to like go in there and like record or whatever like that. But I mean, he writes.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't care what nobody say.
Probably just not as much.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go ahead and get to this rating.
Okay. I was like, I felt really bad that I was late to this party, but I give this project a 4 out of 5 waffles. Like, it was incredible. And like, I think this was just like my first time like really getting to hear it. And who knows, maybe like as time goes on, like, and I keep this in my rotation of listens, because it will be, maybe I'll give it, maybe it can go up.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoyed it. Like, there's like a lot less flaws to it. It's just, I think I guess some people might say it's bullshit, but it's just like the mystery.
Yeah.
It's like the not knowing enough is pretty much what kind of like hinders it from.
Yeah.
But
I think and it's all purposeful. Like the way he pulls back from being in the spotlight is so there's a lot of reluctance with that.
Yeah.
But the names and everything, like he has his interview. I'll probably pull his interview up when we're done. But he has his interview where he's talking about how Usher was like at his feet, like, yo, you're the fucking man, like you're killing this shit. And he's like, nigga, and Usher knows me, whatever. He's like, and the dude that's interviewing him is like, yo, was that crazy to you? He's like, nigga, that's Usher. Like but like it's cool watching him speak because you can't really see his expressions. Right. Cause he's like this, you know, like, so it's just funny just cause he's mad. You could tell he's mad animated when he speaks or whatever. But yeah, man, I think his greatness is going to be cemented. And part of it is that mystery that he buys into.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Oh,
I really, really enjoy this album. I enjoy Mach-Hommy a lot. I think the more we see from him, you know, that he allows us to see, I think that he's just going to live up to that even more. And yeah, I'm in tune. I challenge you guys, if you haven't heard from him or heard enough from him, to tap in and just listen to this album, but doesn't have to stop at this album. Like I said, he has 20 something albums at this point. Let's just dive in and just give it a listen. Let us know what you think. I'm First Class Regg.
I'm Taurian B.
We're out of here.
Catch you guys next time.
Dun dun.